And if you want a link to the call, I can get that to you as well.
Okay,
It'll
yeah,
be
that would be helpful.
okay. It'll be a private link that'll go to you and Angie and myself. That'll be it. It won't be public.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, let me get my other stuff pulled up here. I want to give you just a kind of a brief structure. I've been in ministry for 60 years. And I grew up in a generation where if you wanted anything done, you did it yourself. Well, I've done it myself for 60 years. And I'm keenly aware that what got me to where I am won't get me to where I want to go. So I have to
Gotcha.
delegate and trust people and get into all that, and tough for a list person, but your name is the first on the list.
Well,
And
great.
the original nonprofit was Gerald Doggett Ministries, listed as GDM. And that is a covering for the other few topics there. Doggett Leadership Institute is an LLC. Covenant Network is another nonprofit. The Covenant Network is just a fellowship of ministers and Christian leaders. It has no bank account, no funds. I have a private Facebook page for them, but it's just a loose group of fellowship. Nobody pays any dues or anything. It's just built on relationships that I've
Okay.
had through the years. And then the Global Prayer Task Force is an intercessory prayer covering that Gerald Doggett Ministries has over each continent of the world. We have certain intercessors designated for certain continents, and that's some of the one of the things that I felt I should do if I wanted to have a global impact or global footprint. Footprint's better because I don't know about impact. That's a God thing. That's out of my portfolio. But the new thing on my block is a foundation. I
Okay.
want to create a foundation. I would like it to be a nonprofit foundation. And if it can go under Gerald Doggett Ministries, I'm fine with that. If it needs to be on as a separate entity, I'm fine with that. Doesn't matter to me how it goes. I want it clean and concise, and I want to paint the articles with a broad brush. Right now, we're helping not through a foundation, but just through Gerald Doggett Ministries. We're helping some ministers in rural areas of Nigeria. Uh,
Okay.
I also have the widow or widows of some martyrs that I support so their kids can get through life and the widow can build a life of her own. So it's kind of what we're involved in right now. I also have a missionary in the Far East that I support, traveling U.S. minister, home for unwed mothers. We get around a little bit. I'm not wealthy by any means. I've just got some very good friends that believe in what we do. So, but the foundation is something new. And for me, I'd like to sort of ultimately go through these structures and maybe get some of your expertise on how I can best rearrange them, reposture them to make it look cleaner, look better, and be a better facilitator of what I want to do globally. That's kind of where we are. The overview would be social media. I'm on Facebook. I've got a personal page. I've got a uh, public figure page. My personal page, I think, is Bishop Gerald Doggett. My public figure page is Dr. Gerald Doggett. Covenant Network is a private group, and Doggett Leadership Institute is a private group right now. So those are 4 Facebook pages we have. I do a
Okay.
little bit of Instagram, not much. I have a LinkedIn account I don't know what to do with. And I have YouTube that, I got a bunch of videos up there,
Mhm.
but I don't do YouTube Live. And I'd kind of like to get into that
Yeah.
and monetize it, but I don't know how to do that. And so far, my Zoom, I can't get to YouTube Live. So I don't
Okay.
know about that. So I'll let that be part of it. Regarding Doggett Leadership Institute, I want to expand the student body. Right now, we're about 9, I think, 4 continents and 9 countries, I think, internationally that we have regular students that come in. We have a
Wow.
class every Thursday morning at 11:30 Eastern time. That's a live class that people enroll in. We do tape all of it. Once it's done, we upload it into a private YouTube channel that's available for students that could not make the live class. So we now have, and you can do, I don't, I don't know, I guess I didn't even put the website here. You can add doggedleadership.com
Okay.
as the website we use. Our virtual school now, we've been in operation since I think 2020, something like that. But we've probably got 12, 15 courses that would be probably college level courses because my dean of students has a doctor's degree in leadership from Regents University.
Okay.
I have a Methodist minister who has a master's in divinity from Wesleyan, and I have a doctor who's a traveling minister. I think his doctorate is in theology. And I, the founder and initiator of all this, am a high school graduate.
Look what God can do.
I'm the weenie in the steakhouse. So
Well, it
but
seems like that doesn't stop you from anything. There's a lot that you've accomplished and great things.
I do have a lot of life experience, and the doctors thing they had tagged on me. I had taught some classes at Faith Christian University, and they found themselves in a situation where they couldn't have a high school graduate as a professor, so they made me a doctor
That's
based
amazing.
on life experience. So that's kind of how that went down, and of course appreciated. But we are not accredited, but we are associated with Trans World Accrediting Agency. I did not put that down either.
Okay.
I don't want to dominate all this conversation, but I want to dump it all in your world,
Yeah,
and then we go from there. So
absolutely.
I do want to expand the student body. Right now, 99% of our ambassadors, that's what we call our students, are scholarshiped.
Okay.
I've cut tuition down from $300 per course, which is dirt cheap, to $100 per course. And because we deal primarily in foreign countries where poverty is rampant, we have to scholarship them. We try to scholarship them as $100 per student. I take 20% of that and give it to the instructor at the close of the class, the course. Most of our courses online right now are 15 weeks. We are right now involved in a 12-week course on vision. That's the first time we've shortened our course. If we get to a point where we apply for accreditation and they require 15 hours, then we are situated where we can add to what we have and change assignments around and meet the levels they would require for various degrees. So
Okay.
we're sort of moving toward a theological school, but it's a slow move. It really is, because it was founded as a leadership institute, hands down. So that's where we are with that. I would like to pay the instructors right now, just that 20% is it. That's certainly not commensurate with their educational or their quality of life and what they do. They're just good people that believe in what we do and willing to do it.
Mm.
And one of my big challenges has been um, people on foreign soil. Most of them take the courses by cell phone. They don't have computers.
Okay.
Internet is suspect.
Yeah.
It's challenging to get to Zoom on the internet sometimes, but as a general rule, they can access Facebook. So if I could do a Zoom class, which is what we do a private Zoom class. Students have a link. They come into it when they register, they get a link. They attend class with that link in the Zoom room. If I could take that class and Facebook Live it
Mhm.
simultaneously with a private DLI student page that
Yeah.
they could connect via Facebook or Zoom, either way. I've not found anybody who technically knows how to do that, to make it simultaneous.
I will definitely look into it. I'm sure that it's out there somewhere, so I will dig into that.
Okay, if we have some agreement as to what we're going to do and how we're going to get started with all this, I do have some information from Zoom that I can send you that they
Mm,
sent me. My shortfall is I don't understand the terminology. I
okay.
can hit the button and click it, but when they name it something, I get lost in the weeds, and then I get frustrated because technology is not my strong suit. Uh, I don't know how strong you are in church, so I don't know how much of this to lay at the foot of the cross or just let it be a business. So that's kind of where I am. But my call to the ministry came in 1963. And in that was a vision that I thought the vision was that I would be sent to the world to preach. I saw a globe and this, so I'm in my head preparing for that. A few
Hmm.
years ago, I'm in my 70s sitting at this desk and crying and saying, where did I screw this up? My
Mm,
health is gone, my money's gone. I still got nations I've not been to, but yet I thought I heard you will go to the nations. And the softest voice said to me, look at your address bar on your computer.
mm,
And it was www. And he said, I didn't tell you I would send you to the nations. I told you you would preach to the nations.
mm.
That's your platform.
Wow.
So when I go back 60 years and had that experience, there were no computers. There
Hmm.
were no cell phones.
Right.
There were nothing like that. Fast forward me 60 years and I'm sitting in front of technology that launches spaceships. I'm clueless, but here we are. So that's my story. Uh,
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
I am certified through Light University as a faith-based life coach. I have that personal certification,
Okay.
um, and a certificate to a paper to prove it, I guess we'd say.
Hmm.
And I don't know how to build a coaching business. They taught me some things in the mix of it on how to obtain clients and that sort of thing. I've not been successful at doing that. My strong suit would be meeting with Christian leaders one on one and helping them navigate challenging issues in their life. That's my lane.
Hmm.
I don't do anything better than that. I may not be good at that, but that's the best thing I do.
Hmm.
And so far it's worked and I've made a living and still make a living at it.
Yeah.
I'm not a charismatic figurehead that can get in a podium and talk grandiose things about people and they give me thousands of dollars. I don't do that. I got problems with a lot of that, but that doesn't need to be talked about here.
Mm.
I've traveled with nationally known ministers and been on their staff. I've worked in churches that ran 5,000 and 6,000. So I know the drill in that part. But because I don't want to become what it takes to get to that I've seen, I tend, because of my list and my OCD, I tend to run the other way and I go to an extreme. So I'm counting on you to help me get from the extreme to the middle.
Hmm.
I know how to fake it till you make it. I've watched it. I know how to work a room. It's not in my nature to do that.
Mm.
And so that's probably a little personal insights that you may need to know and you may not need to know. But I would like to build privately a faith-based coaching um, career that would not have, I can take clients and move them into DLI. I can probably reap some clients from DLI into the coaching business. But then there's that charge thing. If they can't afford DLI, then how are they going to afford me? And the
Hmm.
one thing in this that I really want to stay focused on making it as a monetized entity is the faith-based coaching.
Hmm.
Until the foundation is established. Once the foundation is established and donations come in from that, and I'd love to get government grants. that I want to structure it so grants are enticing for people to give corporations. I have some level of connection that I could get a government grant. So the areas that God has placed in my life that are within reach are monumental and global.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to access them or what to do with them.
Yeah.
So I've talked to Micah, and word on the street is that she could probably help me.
Well, I would love to try and help you. I think so. Some of my questions are, it seems like you have a lot of like entities, I guess you would call it. So you have like the GDM, Doggett Leadership Institute, the Covenant Network, Global Task Force, and then like the foundation, which is new. So does that all fall under GDM
It
or
it in my mind it does,
uh-huh.
and in the accounting I use QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
So GDM has a checkbook register in QuickBooks. Doggett Leadership has a checkbook in that. Um, I have several personal accounts in that, but Covenant Network has no banking at all.
Right, because that's more of a, you said, relationship
Yeah.
group.
So
Okay.
and the Global Prayer Task Force has no income at all. That's a functioning prayer group.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we are economically and how I have it structured. I also, personally, I am a member of the Sunshine Network Ministry as a Pentecostal Holiness international group here. Well, they're based out of Oklahoma, but we have offices here. I have a lot of relationships in that group. So I have joined it because their national constitution and bylaws allows them to take a traveling minister, i.e. me, that does not pastor a church, but because I have a ministry, I can be called a church to them and access their nonprofit status, and they can cover me with a 501(c)(3) in their national office as long as I'm a member.
Oh, great.
So I've got paperwork to prove that Gerald Doggett Ministries is nonprofit
Mhm.
and Covenant Network is nonprofit because I've gone through that process and they've secured that from the IRS.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. I don't know if I need a foundation to take that same route or if it needs to stand alone. And so I got my bishop and my pastor is Bishop Mark Sharona out of Orlando, known him for many years. When I get to Bind, I called him. About a month ago, I called him and I said, I'm going to dump a load of stuff on you. You tell me what I can get rid of. I got too much on my plate. 30 minutes later, I said, I'm done. Tell me what I can get rid of. And he said, nothing.
Mm.
I dumped on him what I just dumped on you. And
Yeah.
it said, all of this is part of your destiny. You can't let it go. You have to organize it and function and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm done now.
So I think my first thought is digitally wise, you get a lot of benefits of being a nonprofit. So, just for an example, Google Ads, you get a free $10,000 a month to promote your nonprofit on Google. So, that means that when people search leadership classes or leadership courses, um, you get a free $10,000 for GDM to be at the top of the search bar, which is great. So, I think really honing in on the nonprofit on maybe like GDM as like tier one, because that's your ministry. And then having like Doggett Leadership Institute under that, Covenant Network, the task force, and the foundations. So you might have like one website called GDM, and then on that website is information about everything else that you have. And Doggett, the Leadership Institute, that it could take you to its own website since that is, like a leadership institute, its courses or classes, or it could just take you to a different part of the website. But I think organizing them under one ministry would be what my first recommendation is, and then letting it all fall underneath that. Does that make sense?
It does. So the existing doggettleadership.com could be connected to a Gerald Doggett Ministries website.
So everything can be found in one central spot. But then it takes you to different pages about each specific function that you have. That way, it's just easier for people to access. And say someone goes to the Covenant Network or the Prayer Task Force, and then they see that there is a Leadership Institute also because it's also on the same website. They might not know that that's offered, and you might get some people from that. So it kind of connects the dots for for all the structures and foundations or the elements you have.
Okay, I am going to need to check because I'm not sure. I may have reserved GeraldDoggettMinistries.com. I may have that in GoDaddy or something that I've held on to. That's iffy right now. Let me double check that and I'll
Right.
send you an email or something later on that. Uh,
Yeah,
make a note, check that out.
because
Okay.
I did go to the doggetleadership.com website and was kind of poking around. Um, so I don't think that necessarily needs to go anywhere, but I think it could just incorporating that with your other things would be great. Um, And then, so that would be kind of number one. And then you kind of have your social media presence. It kind of falls under all of what is offered. So, like stories of like people impacted would be great to promote on social, things that are offered on social, um, things like that.
Okay. Question for you.
Mhm.
Are these things that you can get involved in and help get that structured and
Yeah,
presence on there, or do you deal with content or you don't deal with content that much?
I kind of deal with anything digital wise. So, my husband and we do it together, but we build websites. So, if that's something you're looking for, we can help build the website. We can help with your social media presence. We're very hands-on in that. We also do some graphic design and branding as well. Um, because if there is ever a time, if you think like if GDM needs its own branding, we can definitely help create that, like a logo, colors, things like that, so that, everything is consistent and flows. Um, so yeah.
Okay. And all makes sense. I mean, I certainly don't have any qualms about what's going on here. Um, and what you're telling me, do we ultimately get to the point where things can be done to monetize in that structure and bring additional funds in or bring funds in? Because right now, really, I have
Hmm.
people that support us personally. I have to, for the most part, support DLI out of the
Right.
Joe Doggett Ministries. That's our personal salary plus ministry expenses is what deals.
Hmm.
I have some rare contributions into DLI and they stay there and then we pay expenses, DLI expenses from that. Um, I do some traveling also. If I take like 3 road trips a year, not physically able to do much more than that anymore. My wife is kind of homebound, so my son drives me, and he's pretty much free to do what I need to have done. So he works with me in this.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so if we were to start out this process and you gave me a picture of it, if I can get a domain name, Gerald Albright Ministries, geraldalbright.com, something that is not taken that would work.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of funds am I looking at expense wise for a website, et cetera, and what you're telling me so far?
Yeah, so what I kind of want to do first is I want to put together kind of like a plan, what I think might be good. And with that, after I come up with like what I think digitally wise you need in order to, promote GDM and the Leadership Institute and to raise funds, to get funds and get people to come. I think I just need to I'll talk with my husband, we'll come up with a plan and send that over to you, as well as what like the costs involved with that are. So I can't tell you right at this moment, but by the end of the week, I can get you kind of like a general plan and a price.
Okay, and that's fine with me. I'm basically going to continue to do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Need to take a look at some of my social media stuff. I don't think I put the links on the information I sent you. I can give you links, or you can do a search and find me. I'm not that hard to find. Um, I have right at 5,000 friends on my personal page. I think I have over 4,000 on the public figure page. The others, got a couple of hundred maybe followers on Covenant Network, but those are irrelevant. They are more private than they are anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where that is. I don't have, I've got less than 50 followers on YouTube, and I've got well over 100 videos up there.
Mm-hmm.
But so I've really thought in terms, I've had people try to encourage me, get the YouTube, do shorts, do quick things, do this. I don't mind doing that, but I'm in a situation where I have to use a background. I can't use my home as a background. And to use a background, I'm not able to get my Zoom to connect into the live part of YouTube. I can do it to Facebook to my personal page, but I don't even know how to change my Zoom to my personal page to another page. So
Okay.
it just defaults to the personal page.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
That's something I'll definitely look into as well as I'm like looking into more. But what I'm gonna do is do a deep dive into like your social platforms, your website that you have, and kind of just figure out how we can organize it, clean it up, and go from there. Because I think we might just need some cleaning up and restructuring and then figuring out how you can best do videos for YouTube and Facebook. Um,
yeah,
and then yeah.
this is all I do. I sit in front of a computer all day. I don't have another job or income or responsibility. This is 100% of what I do. So if you were to tell me you need to do certain things, videos so many times a day, you need to get this, that's what I need. I need somebody to organize me here because this is
Mhm.
what I do. I'm
Yeah.
not, oh, and I do write books.
Okay. Awesome. Are those promoted? Can you buy them? Where can you buy those?
I have them on Kindle on Amazon, and then I have the dean of students, Dr. Daryl Parsons. Uh, his wife runs Parsons Publishing House, and they promote and publish books, and they
Okay,
are reasonably well known. And they've agreed to be my publisher
great.
for the most part for whatever I want to write.
Hmm.
So right now, I've got a book on transition. Well, my first book was Portrait of a Pastor's Heart. I spiral bound that one for just for better look. Then I have a book on navigating the challenges of transition and how to survive a growing church culture. It's just going crazy. I got a book with that. Just stuff like that, nothing with anything. Right now, I'm working on what I think is probably my most intuitive project, and it's a book about the third dimension.
Okay.
Third dimension biblically is the explosive dimension of the Bible. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost is the explosive part of the three. Plant,
Mm.
water, increase. Increase is the explosive part of the three. Outer court, inner court, holy of holies. and the Holy of Holies. So I'm taking all of that and putting it into a book, and then geographically talking about a straight line is a one dimension. If you add another line to it, it's two dimension, but the second dimension dominates the first dimension.
Mm.
First dimension doesn't dominate the second. And then if you add a third dimension, then you've got a third dimension that dominates two dimensions. And then a fourth dimension, of course, would be exponentially everything. So that's the premise of what I'm writing about. And I think that may be one of the better, more thought out books that I would have written.
Okay, yeah. Um, well, those should definitely be on the website where people can buy them. So that's just another kind of thing so that people like almost have like a bookstore on your website where people can purchase and buy them. Especially since you have a few under your belt that we could promote and add there.
Yeah, I think I can access those. I think I can access each of them in bulk if I needed to.
Mhm.
Obviously, the publisher would have, but I went renegade and got another publisher one time. I'm not sure I can get that one, but uh, whatever I need to do to align this better, I'm willing to do it. It will not be without challenges. I understand that.
Mhm. Yeah, but I think we can get there. And I think really just once you get the organization and that line of like just where everything falls under, instead of having like all of these different functions like on it their own, I think aligning them all together is going to be a great first step. And then everything else will kind of fall into place from there. So just building that foundation and that organization structure will be first. Um, where, another question, is your website hosted on Weebly? Is that what I saw? Some,
Yes.
okay. Um, great. I have, did you build, who built the website?
It was predominantly built by Parsons Publishing House. The particular lady is Diane. That's Daryl's wife. Um, he's brilliant on his own. She's equally as brilliant and knows stuff, but they're very quiet. You don't know what they know.
Okay, great. Do you have access to get inside and edit them? Or if I was to, start helping with you, would I have access to be able to go on your website and make updates and changes?
Yeah, I think they would I think she would yield that gladly because she has a publishing house to run and they're just very busy people. She does a lot of things, I think, to help the old guy. I've been friends with them for 25 years. And Daryl and I talked about doing something together in ministry at some point in our life. We both felt that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I see us on a platform together. Well, in my mind, you default to a church platform because that's how we knew each other. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to stand on a platform. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's what he said. So in the process of all this, I'm coming out of Africa on a plane by myself, and every church person in Africa says, "Give us leadership materials. We can't train our leaders."
Mm.
And on the plane, I thought a leadership institute. Yeah, I got to put something together for those people. Dropped it, never thought no more about it. 10 years later, I see Daryl Parsons and I said, I need you to help me do something. He said, What? I'm in. I said, You don't even know what it is. He said, If you're in it, I'm in it. What do you want? I said, I want to start a leadership institute. He said, I'm in.
Mm.
I said, What can you do? He said, I got a doctor's degree in leadership. I can build it for you. I said, Let's go. And here
Yeah.
we are. So they have come in and brought their skill set in, and it's been an amazing thing. We use Canvas as our learning management system. We're set up to be a theological seminary. We just got to get the content moving in that direction. So we're well done there.
Okay.
Everything's really at excellent level there. And I think she would gladly yield the passwords and whatever to get into the website.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think that it would help with getting like a little bit modern of a website going. Um, and then just kind of making sure everything that you offer is listed on one website as step one.
All right, so I will look at the domain name that may be
Mhm.
available, and I
Yeah.
can email you that information. You okay to do emails back and forth? Is that the best way to communicate?
Yeah, email's great. And also what you can do is because people still use doggetleadership.com, I'm not saying get rid of that entirely. So you can have two URLs linked to one website. So if you typed in doggetleadership.com, it would take you to this website. And then if you also typed in the GDM URL, it would also take you to that one website. And I can help, get all of that together, but you can have two URLs for one website.
I really probably need to keep the Dog at Leadership website. It's been there for a number of years. That's where we put our enrollment forms, our
Absolutely.
curriculum, and all of the above. Our teachers and all the pictures are there, bios, and we have a calendar that's there. Uh,
Yeah.
just a lot of things are there. Coaching is there. Well, you can pull the tabs down and see everything that's there. It's
Mhm.
um, is what it is. Um, that's pretty well my story. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to listen. I generally talk way too much, but
No,
that's
it's very helpful.
part of what I do. I,
Hmm.
I really wanted somebody that would kind of get a grasp of who I am. And I'm not an old guy trying to find something to do. At the risk of sounding really nuts, this is an obsession with me.
Mm.
I've taken this seriously since 1962, 63. It's never been there's never been say, what, have you wanted to quit? I used to say quitting's not an option, but looking back over my life, it's always been an option.
Mm.
It was never my choice.
Hmm.
And I brought that to the table. And at 80 years old, I'm still nowhere near bad health internally. My doctor tells me my blood work and my internal self is healthier than it's ever been.
Mm.
I have mobility issues, just old and arthritis kind of stuff. But this is my existence. It's my life. It's what I want to leave for Angie to manage and run,
Hmm.
because whatever I do, I want it to last longer than me.
Yeah.
And I will count my life as a failure if it doesn't last longer than me.
Mm.
My job is to get it structured with soundness, with excellence, and make it as clean legally as I can possibly make it.
Hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
really think to attract corporate donors and people that are heavy hitters to join me in this journey or join my descendants in this journey, it's going to have to be clean as a whistle
Hmm.
and have a great track record of doing what they said they were going to do.
For sure.
So that's what I'm looking for in this. And this is kind of meet me kind of a meeting as much as it is anything else. And if you get into this and decide, you know what, this is nuts to me, I'm out. No hard feelings here. You're the first one with expertise I've really talked to. I've wrestled this thing myself till I'm sick of it.
Hmm.
I can't do that because it's not my strength. It's not even something I particularly want to learn by experiment.
Yeah.
I'm a monkey. You can train me. I'll do any process you train me to do, and I'll be fine with it.
Hmm.
But if something goes south in the process, I'm screwed. It's over. I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's what it is.
let me take a look at, your notes that you sent over, and some of the notes I made, and then, the social channels, your website, and let me put together kind of like a proposed plan, some pricing, and then we can plan to kind of chat again and I can walk through it and we can, look at it and decide like, if this looks like it works or it doesn't work, or if you have other ideas, and we can go from there.
Okay, I have one final question that's off the record of all this.
Okay.
About 2 weeks ago, I had the lady Kayla Reed at the bottom of the page with the
Saw that.
question marks. Okay, Abby is my global prayer task force leader, and she's a life coach. Angie has life coaching deals. Thought about bundling that and putting it on a website as offering life coaching and let each person monetize whatever they can draft in as clients. So that's something. But Kayla Reed was in children's church at a church I pastored in Weatherford, Texas, about 30 years ago. And she contacted me on Facebook and said, "Can you help me?" I had no idea what she wanted. She's got some kind of college degree. She said it started in counseling, but now it's in coaching, and she wants to be a life coach and wants me to help her be a life coach. I said, "Well, how odd. I'm talking to a lady who may know something about life coaching in a few days. Uh, are you open to other clients contacting you independently and you work with them, or are you not open to that at this point?"
Yeah, I'm definitely open. I love to kind of consult and talk with people about like next steps and everything. So I think that would be, yeah, definitely.
Kayla is married. Her husband makes good money according to her. She had a daughter she put in a home. She has no, not dementia, autism.
Mm,
And they had to put her into a home. It apparently got severe.
mm,
And Kayla's, I'm finding out is a lot like me. If she's not careful, when she hits a wall, she just tends to walk away and sit down for a while and put it off to deal with it. So that'll be probably what you'll face at some level. But if she had some direction, I think she has some energy to pursue the direction. And of course, you would be the judge of that once you talk to her. You tell me how that you want her to contact you, or what you want me to give to her, or if you want to contact her, I'll set all that up. But once that's set up, I'm out, and you
yeah.
work with her. I won't tell her what we're doing, and she won't tell me what she's doing with you.
Yeah, you can give her my email, and then we can set up a call, or me and Kayla can, and go from there. But you can pass on my email for sure. I'd
Okay.
appreciate that.
All right, I'll do that. Happy to do that. And she's a good Christian girl, and she's not, she really wants to do something in life, and I think she's worthy of some time and attention. And
Yeah.
I sent her a bunch of websites and stuff she could look at, and she didn't know about Fiverr and a bunch of other stuff, Upwork and things like that.
Mm,
And those are probably not top of the line stuff, but they're there, they're common, and gives you an idea to look around. So
yeah, for
that's
sure.
I appreciate your time today. I don't want to do I owe you for today.
Oh, no, not at all. This was just, a chat. I'll, come up with the plan, send it to you, and then we'll chat later. And once again, sorry about the mix up on Central Eastern Time. You said it in your email and I just put it
Okay.
in wrong, so I apologize.
Okay, that part, that ship sailed, it's over. No harm, no foul. We're good.
All right.
And I appreciate you staying with me and letting me know that there was an issue. And that's fine. I'm better aware of your time structure now, and that's helpful too. But if you need any other questions, you can email me or text me, call me. Do you have my contact information?
Let's see if it's in the email.
Just
Yeah.
my email address, I think.
I have your email, and then I have, is it 352-409-5101?
Yeah, that is my personal cell. Everything you do with me, email, cell phones, all of that is purely confidential.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one that answers my phone. I'm the only one that responds to my emails. None
Mm-hmm.
of that ever gets out anywhere else. And so anything that you want to send me, you just know that it will remain that way. And that's just, I got tired in my early life of being a Sunday morning sermon illustration in somebody's pulpit, and made a promise to me and the people I deal with. I'm never going to throw you under the bus for any reason.
Mm.
I promise you, you're not going to be in somebody's Sunday morning sermon illustration, nor am I going to use you as an illustration.
Gotcha.
So got all that going down, and I think that's helped me with ministers more than anything else.
Hmm.
And my famous stories, I've told a group of, I had them all in a Zoom room one day, and I said, at my funeral, I want all of you there. I'm going to have the biggest funeral of anybody that you've ever been to. Some of them typed in the chat feature, a little conceited today, aren't you, Bishop? No, it has nothing to do with conceit. It's that you're going to want to know for sure that I am dead, I am in the casket, and your secrets are gone. And they had a big laugh because they knew I know stuff about them. It could bury them.
That's funny.
But anyway, we had a good time with it.
Good. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I will be in touch this week with next steps.
Okay, any questions, you can find me, let me know. And that is the best way to get in touch with me, email and
Great.
call or whatever. Okay,
Hey,
thank you so much. And I will get you a link to this recording as soon as it is available, and you can file it away and use it for whatever.
great. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
And you as well. Thank you.
Bye.